It was time to let go. I wasn't ready. I don't know how one could ever be fully ready to let go, but I knew at some point, very soon in fact, I would have to. I spent most of that night up with my childhood friends, plopping from one bed to the next, the pain and grief so heavy, the birth injury on my right side still so present, I couldn't stand up or sit down for too long. I would limp from our bed to the living room and set myself up on the empty sofa bed. While they whispered in corners of the apartment about when to start clearing out the baby's room, I pretended to sleep. Salvatore's room had a single sleeper sofa, and tonight I wanted to be there with company. Sitting on that dizzy edge, I kissed his face and kissed his head. Cure songs and Simon and Garfunkel, Janis Joplin all made their way into the Salvatore mix. "Why are you so far away?" he said. "Oh, don't you ever know that I'm in love with you? That I'm in love with you." The amount of love that poured out with the birth of my son Salvatore was overwhelming. I never knew love so deep and connected. I never knew that I was that loved. My best friends from middle school, high school, college, and beyond came in droves, took shifts, and mothered me so that I could go mother my baby boy. They made sure I took a shower and always had purple grounding fruits available to me in the morning, plums, grapes, and pomegranates. Our family members got off cruise ships on the Atlantic coast and flew in from New York, DC, New Jersey, and Delaware. Salvatore had a knack for uniting all the religions. Born during Yom Kippur, Ramadan, and the autumn equinox, he had the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, the Hindu, the Buddhists, the pagans, and the atheists praying for him. Messages of love and hope arrived from 4 continents, spanning the globe from Panama to India, Slovenia to Canada. Before having him, I was the girl that was good at helping other people, but afraid to be seen as vulnerable or ask for help. Lesson number 1 in being a mother: I had to fall into many arms. I didn't realize how many I had waiting to hold me up. Their loves, prayers, and hope when I made the call asking for them were what held us up in this most challenging of times. That night, however, we knew there was no longer any hope. Earlier that morning, we'd had the meeting with the neonatologist. She told us that after trying the 72-hour cooling cap therapy and then running all the tests, our baby boy showed no signs of brain activity. The devastating news was this would not change, and there was nothing left to do. The only end was to take him off life support, but the question was when. Celie, who had flown in from Portland to stay with us, was acting as a sort of den mother to the constant flow and communication to our family and friends. She knew to call in reinforcements that evening. Friends gathered as I plopped myself on the sofa bed and began the sesh. Ireland had taught me about the power of song, all those nights spent at the Crane, that great pub in Galway where I'd head to after work. The bartender would shush the crowd as someone stood up to sing. I learned this song from there. I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me in these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away. Will the neighbors hear? Does it matter? They've probably noticed that we came home without a baby and the oncoming traffic of friends and family into our apartment. I've been telling old stories, singing songs that make me think about where I come from. That's the reason why I seem so far away today. I closed my eyes as I sang. I could see him there hooked up to all the machines and the warm glow from the NICU lights in the private room. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. I was ready. I reached for my shoes then, placing them carefully over the warm socks. Mimo, please mind yourself. My husband had spent all day at the hospital with him and needed to stay in that night. I knew I needed to go. Friends piled in the car and drove me the short distance to Children's Hospital. I kept singing. And if I should become a stranger, Oh, it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. The car pulled into Children's Hospital and the routine began. Check in at the front desk. Put on badge, Salvatore Russo, written with a big star, drawn with marker. Take elevator up to the NICU. Scrub hands and pump pedal to rinse. Pass the nods and the faint smiles of the night nurses on duty. See the warm glow from the private room through the window. See beautiful, big baby boy on the bed. Tell yourself, take in this moment because it will pass. You are tanned, even though you hadn't yet seen the sun. Your skin, the color of a soft desert sunset. You laid upon light Egyptian muslin sheets. No starchy hospital blankets and covers. No, I made sure your sweet skin touched something fine and natural. Your head was sheltered in a cream and green crocheted hat, brought over in our suitcase from Italy. I found it at a street fair in Naples, knew I had to get it for you the moment I saw it. I told your nonna and nonno that you needed something from Napoli to protect your head. Its woven threads whispering to you of where you came from, the old world, even though you were born in the new. Little did I know you were destined for a different kind of cap those first few days of life. That cap would be metallic and insulated, FDA approved. Its purpose, to prevent or reduce neurological damage from your lack of oxygen to the brain during the 9 minutes you had no heartbeat after being born. Your sweet young nurse Lizzie helped to lift you gently from the bed and put you into my waiting arms. Oh, nothing like the feel of your big boy weight in my arms. The fresh rounded curves, those nostrils shaped like tiny hearts, your full luscious lips. I removed your hat, rubbing my chin softly against your dark wavy hair that felt like cashmere. Your intoxicating scent like wild honey and raw milk. How blessed I was to have carried you, birthed you, and still get to hold you in all your beauty and wonder. And in this moment, I also knew I needed to let you go. No, not off the machines yet. First, I just needed to breathe deeply. My doula knew what I was doing and breathed with me. That's right, she said gently. You're doing great. The same words she gave me as I labored, she was now supporting me in letting you go. There was no need for words between you and I. We had this secret language that seemed to span lifetimes of love and connection. As infinite as the universe and as strong, ancient, and rooted as the great redwood trees I walked under when I was 8 months pregnant with you. Just breathe. I sipped water from the large hospital water bottle they gave mothers in postpartum. The yoga song played in your room, a chant that I would do my morning yoga routine to that special winter in Bacoli before I would start my day in my writing room. I didn't know that those 4 months would lead me to meeting your father and my whole life being shifted from 1 to now 3. You would always be in our hearts, always. Keep breathing. I rocked you as I let you go, giving space for your spirit to rise. I knew that this was first the way, to tell you it was okay. I knew you were holding on for me, or perhaps for everyone, but it was okay. Keep breathing, drink water, let go. Yoga chants continued. This was life. This was permission to let go of the constraints of living and know that wherever it was you would go, I would still be here with you. This moment, it seemed to last forever, and though I could not see it, I imagined a white cloud of smoke coming from your chest, zigzagging its way up into the air and forming a sacred circle above on the ceiling. I let go, and so did you. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. Thank you.